Okay, so what we're doing here is we have graphing relationships, and I want to start on this table. These are the words that you're looking for. Was constant means something's going horizontal. So if I break it down segments, this would be horizontal, 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 horizontal. Rose steadily, slanting upwards, slanting upwards, slanting upwards, even slanting upwards on this one. Stays the same, constant stays the same, are identical, going horizontal again, and then dropping sharply, which is most of these graphs right here, and slanting downwards. So if you see these little marks, these are segments. These are segments of what's happening in the graph. So if we're looking at this example in words and reading this, the air temperature was constant. So this one's constant, this one's constant. This one is rising, so we know it's not going to be graph C. For several hours at the start, and then rose steadily for several hours. So that means it's staying horizontal and then rising. So both of these are rising, could be either one of these right now. Rose steadily for several hours, and it stayed the same temperature for most of the day. So that means it's going to go horizontal again. So this one's going horizontal, but this one doesn't. So in these segments, these different lines of where the graph changes, these words best match B. Then the end for most of the day before dropping sharply. So each one of these segments describes words, and here's your key words for breaking graphs down. This is a continuous line, so this air temperature, it's always moving, so this is what we call a continuous graph. So you got two vocab words in 231, continuous graph, discrete graph. So this is the discrete graph, which means there's individual things. It's not essentially constant. So looking at this example, Simon's selling earbuds to raise money. Each one sells for $5. He has 7 to sell. So looking at this graph, we have amount earned on the y-axis and candles on the x. So we have 7 earbuds to sell and at $5 a piece. So each one's going to be 5. So one earbud, $5, 2 earbuds, 10, 3, 15, 4, 20, and so on. So this is the discrete graph describing what's happening here, what he has to sell. Then we can figure out the math. 7 candles at $5 per, I'm sorry, not candles, but earbuds. The 7 earbuds at $5 a piece, we multiply that, the amount of revenue that can be earned on this graph or in the problem is $35. Okay, now looking at this next one. Once again, we're looking for keywords. So like our temperature y-axis and our time x-axis, and looking at these words and describing a graph, we're going to do the same thing on this one. Angel's heart rate while walking remained the same. So remain the same, so it's constant. So this is this segment right here, and that's what a segment description is. It also, as she increased his pace, the rate increased. So there's our rate increase right there. So there's our second segment. And then it increased more rapidly, which means it's going to go up at a steeper, faster rate. Remained high while she ran, so from right there. And then he had decreased his pace to his heart rate, which slowed down and returned to normal. So this part being normal, this running, and that descending. So each one of these is a segment description, and the words tie into what is happening in the graph. And then once again, this one is a continuous graph. Okay, very last one, we have water level and time. So if we're looking at the segment description, we have 3. So increase steadily, remains unchanged, decrease steadily. So that's what's going on in this graph, and you're going to have your handout, which is going to have different graphs. You've got to come up with scenarios and stuff. So coming up with a scenario for this one, the Polar Pop is filled and left alone until you got to school, and then you rapidly drank it until it was empty. So you went to the fountain, you filled it up, and then you got to school, you waited to drink it till you got to school, so there was a time that it just sat at its maximum level, and then you drank it. So there's several examples of what the segment description is. You're looking for words, increase, decrease, rise, whether sharply, steadily, things being constant and things like that to describe what's happening within a graph. Okay, so you have your do now, which is the same thing we were going over last week, and then you have your worksheet that you want to finish up in regards to this lecture. So you have the examples that are here. You want to be finishing that worksheet and turning it in today. Okay, thank you.